What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to another episode of My Trades. Before I get into the technicals for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the crypto markets, I'm gonna go ahead and update you guys on the portfolio. So I haven't made a video in the last 2 days. So definitely a lot of updates onto the portfolio. So I'll go ahead and show you guys my portfolio as of right now. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So the last video I made for you guys, which was the 12th, at that time, 54% cash, 42% ETH, 4% SUI. These were the trades. They were all green. Everything was green. That was Friday's close, with the alts having a strong pump. The closeout Friday. Um, I did make modifications to the portfolio. I went ahead. I went into bought more ETH, allocated more into ETH, 59% ETH, 4% still in SUI, and then what was it? Yesterday, I was still 38% cash, 59% ETH, 40% SUI. And as of today, I made some portfolio adjustments for today. I went back into 53% in cash, 43% still in Ethereum, 4% in SUI. And so far, these are the price swings for today. For SUI, you know, on unrealized losses, almost about 600 bucks, I would say, in unrealized losses. Again, I did not, sell everything, because, like I said, I don't care about these price swings. I'm here to build a position and still continuously building these positions and allocating to these assets because, of course, I'm still bullish for the rest of the year for crypto. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the technicals. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So for Bitcoin, we need to really kind of dive into Bitcoin a little bit today. I will dive into Ethereum too as well because Ethereum is I would say the signal for the rest of the alts to have a monstrous alt season. So let's go through Bitcoin first. So as of right now, Bitcoin is holding strength right now. Okay, it's holding strength because we have this little consolidation for the last few days in this little channel that Bitcoin is forming. Now, Bitcoin, good news, Bitcoin is respecting the daily moving average of 14.3, which is what you want to see. Now, the bad news is right now is that this is forming a little bit of a doji candle right here, okay? Usually a doji candle can signal a reversal on the upside or the downside. It's like a 50-50 toss up essentially. So, we gotta just kind of just, in my opinion, just keep an eye on this. I think as long as Bitcoin, especially for the next 2 days, which will be volatile, I think as long as Bitcoin can respect the daily moving average here in the next 2 days, I don't see why it cannot pump towards the upside, right? So I think for the rest of the couple days, I think it's going to consolidate. Um, as long as Bitcoin respects this daily moving average. Uh, Another thing we have to look at though is what happens if this breaks down, right? What if this actually does not hold? And what if this does break down? What if the daily moving average does not hold? Okay. So if that does not hold, right? And we end up actually start downtrending, right? Which would hypothetically create a higher low. So this would be the higher low, essentially, right? This would be the higher low, which is not good. That would not be a good sign for Bitcoin. Does that mean the bear market's going to occur? No, there's still a lot of obstacles that have to be met in order to basically, identify the likelihood of a bear market. We're nowhere near that likelihood yet, right? But again, Bitcoin needs to respect this daily moving average and it needs to hold this retest that we had back in the beginning of the month of September, which is at 109.4, 109.2. Okay, so that was the previous retest, okay? Um Now, this could technically be a retest right here at, 14.2, right? That could possibly be a new retest to confirm higher prices. But again, we just have to just keep in mind that as long as it respects the daily moving average, that should be our retest zone, right? As long as it retests and it does not go below this daily moving average, then we should be fine. Okay, so uh, look at the indicators really quick. RSI. So RSI is still trending. It's still crossing over the gold band, which is exactly what you want to see. It's maintaining strength. This is a strength on this indicator. This is obviously in strength, not in weakness. So this is good to see. A little bit of divergence on the RSI, which is good to see. That could possibly be the retest zone that we see, that little this little zone right here, right? That could have possibly been the bottom for that retest. We don't know. We have to wait and see. And then we look at the stochastic MACD. The stochastic MACD, so the MACD is fading in terms of the buying volume is fading. Stochastic is still heading up, so that's good to see. The stochastic is still heading up. However, I do see a little bit of a curve, not for much concern, but I do see a curve on this stochastic. I don't know if you guys can see that blue line. It's starting to round a little bit, right? Now, I'm not concerned about this, but if it continues to round further down, it goes down and it rounds, that's not a good sign, right? That would signal that we lost support at our daily moving average, okay? So we just got to keep an eye on all indicators for Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin is the index for the rest of the crypto market. If Bitcoin does not do well, the alts do worse. If Bitcoin does well, the alts will do well. And even outperform. So let's look at Ethereum really quick to close out the rest of this. So Ethereum had a nice big breakout that I called a few videos ago. That Bitcoin or the Ethereum was ready to rip, and sure enough, it did rip. It had a nice move up, all the way up to 47.60, which is very good. But ended up getting rejected by resistance, came back down, and almost pretty much retraced this entire move on Friday. So that to me is not a concern, right? I expected something like that. I told you guys, I think like last video, that as long as it's respecting the daily moving average, I'm not really concerned on this. This could possibly be a retest, right? I'm not concerned, right? This could be a higher, or this right here could be the higher low, right? So we just have to just wait and just let things play out. Okay. So, for this to be valid, this cannot come back down to $4,100 for main support on Ethereum. Anything's possible. It definitely could, depending if we have a sell-off for the Fed meeting going into Wednesday, which I'll talk about that in a different video that I'm going to record for you guys today. But as of right now for Ethereum still looks good. I mean, Ethereum still looks good. It's consolidating in this range, right? It's consolidating in this little zone. And again, I do think we're going to break out of 5K and go up further for the rest of the year. That this region all the way up towards the end of the year. So that's pretty much it for Ethereum. As long as Ethereum is still compressed in this, the alts won't really rip the way the alts are priming themselves, right? Even Solana is actually doing very well. But again, this had this sweep up the highs right here, and that's what confirmed this breakdown a little bit on Solana. But Solana is still respecting the daily moving average, so I'm not gonna get into Solana. But what are my moves right now for the next 24 hours? So honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I may just increase a little bit of Sui. Sui's at a really good price right now because I do think Sui's gonna run pretty hard later in the year. This is a very nice buying opportunity in my opinion. It went all the way up as high as almost $3.90 and came all the way back down to 350. So this is a higher low in my opinion. This could be a higher low, right? So at the bottom right here, this could be the first higher low confirmation for a higher price up for the next rally. So I think I'm gonna allocate just a little bit, maybe put 8% Sui. That's why I kind of just went back in the cash, went from 38% to 53%. Maybe put 4%, an extra 4% inside Sui, which will be 8%. I'll make that decision at the end of the day for my trades. But as of right now, I'm just holding right now. Going into the Fed meeting, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that in a different video. But what I'm going to do going into Wednesday, because I know Wednesday is going to be very volatile. I'm going to just show you guys what I'm preparing for Wednesday, because it could be a sell the news event, right? It could be a sell the news event, and Bitcoin could possibly dip another 10, 15%, where everyone got bullish. It could be a humongous bull trap. So I'll go into that in a different video, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and just call this video, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So again, the thing that you want to take away from this, Bitcoin needs to respect 14.3 in order for the markets, for the crypto markets to stay in strength right now, okay? Bitcoin has to stay above 14.3, essentially, which I think it will. It looks pretty strong right now, and this is a very good sign. It's a very good sign, okay? So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for coming in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.